A glorious good afternoon to everyone. I am TSWREIS of B.Sc final year from Karimnagar. Yes, today I am going to teach you something which is related and which is going to be a very interesting topic. So before going to enter into a topic, let me show you some pictures. So by seeing these pictures, you can guess what I am going to explaining you today. So observe these pictures. This slide represents the different types of food. The first picture represents a natural and a healthy food which makes a person to lead a healthy life. And the second picture represents a processed and artificial food which makes a person to lead unhealthy life. So here, eat healthy and live healthy is one of the essential requirements for a long life. Unfortunately, today's world has been adapted to a system of consumption of food which is with high calorie content. So here, at least one has so little time to really think what we are eating is right. So from these points, I can say that most of the people are consuming the food which is unhealthy. So you can understand my words better by observing next picture. So observing this picture, what you are observing here, yes, for example, if we take obesity. So obesity is a condition of overweight, or else we can say that this obesity condition is characterized by the abnormal or excessive fat accumulation in the human body. So coming to the obesity condition in India, so obesity has reached epidemic proportions in the 21st century, and it is with morbid obesity affecting 5% of the total population. So if you observe the picture represents two levels, that is 70% of the people in urban who are living in urban areas, they are about 73% of the people are overweight. And coming to the 1/2 urban Indians are also obesity. So the major risk factor, or else we can say that the age which is favorable for the occurrence of obesity is 28 to 38 years. So this age is considered as the highest risk of weight. And next, if you observe the picture, the second picture which represents healthy risk of being overweight. So by the condition of overweight, if a person is suffered with the overweight condition, that is obesity, it may leads to occurrence of some of the diseases like heart stroke, gallbladder diseases, high cholesterol and high blood sugar levels also, and then type 2 diabetes. So when a person is suffering from obesity condition, there is a chance to occur different types of diseases like this. So from this picture, you can guess what I am going to explaining you today. Yes, my topic is effects of junk food on human metabolic rate. In my content, today I am going to explain you what is junk food and what are the metabolic consequences by consuming junk food and what are its controlling measures, and at last conclusion. So do you know what is junk food? Let me tell you what is junk food. So the people consuming a fancy and high calorie content food popularly known as junk food, and we can say it is a processed food. So it is an unhealthy food which is with limited nutritional values. So this junk food is widely available, cheap and convenient also. So this junk food is often marketed heavily, especially to children, and this junk food is promoted with the misleading health problems. So if you observe the next picture, here the picture represents different types of food varieties like junk food varieties. They are chips, candy, soft drinks, gums, chocolates, cookies, cake, sugar, butter and fried fast food. So like this, there are different types of junk food which are available in present days. So what is metabolism? Do you know what is metabolism? Let me explain you what is metabolism. Metabolism is defined as the sum of the chemical reactions that takes place within each cell of a living organism. So by the process of metabolism, it provides energy for vital processes and for synthesizing new organic metabolism. And we can say metabolism is a combination of anabolism and catabolism. So here anabolism is a constructive process and catabolism is a destructive process. In metabolism, the complex molecules are formed from the simple molecules. So, in catabolism, which is destructive process, the complex molecules which are formed in anabolism, they will be dissociated into simple molecules and used for the vital process like respiration, digestion and etc. Simply, we can say that metabolism is a process by which your body converts what you ate or calories into energy. The energy which is produced by the metabolism process is used for the different processes like respiration, digestion and also for your daily physical activities. So, here this metabolism also affected by the kind of food you ate and the exercise you do and the amount of activities you have in your daily life, and also your emotional state and stress conditions also affects your metabolism. So, I have mentioned here metabolism. You know what is the difference, what is meant by metabolism, and also your stress conditions and your emotional states also affects your metabolic rate. I have mentioned here metabolic rate. What is metabolic rate? Yes, metabolic rate is the rate at which your body burns the calories is known as metabolic rate. So, you can see the picture metabolism. It is a combination of anabolism and catabolism, that is known to be metabolism. So, next, so here most of the people are confused about the terms junk food and fast food. So, let us see the differences between junk food and fast food. Fast food means the naming itself implies that the food which is prepared fastly and quickly, and then junk food, the naming itself refers to the useless or an extra or unhealthy food. So, from these points we can say that fast food describes how long it takes the consumer to get the food ready to be eaten, and the junk food describes the quality and the nutritional value of the food. So, have you got the differences between junk food and fast food? Yes. Let us come to know what junk food contains. So, let us see the next slide. So, here the junk food contains high amount of calories, saturated fats, sugars and sodium levels. So, these are the different in different amounts the junk food contain. So, if you observe the next picture, here the picture provides different types of junk food and their caloric values. So, if you observe the picture represents different types of junk food and their caloric frequencies, right? So, let us see. Sugary soft drinks consists of approximately 138 calories, and then standard chocolate bar. This standard chocolate bar consists of 229 calories, and then sandwich, whether it is chicken or bacon. So, it is consist of 445 kilocalories. So, approximately the different levels of different calories values are different from different junk foods. So, it may be vary from one food to the another. So, like this way different types of junk food contain different amounts of calories, saturated fats, sugars and sodium. So, it is about junk food. Then most of the foods will be increases our metabolic rate. But how does junk food slow down your metabolism? So, let us see how this junk food slow down your metabolism. When the food dense in sugars, the sugars which are consumed by the person, when oxidized in the body, it results in the enormous formation of acetyl-CoA. So, when this enormous formation of acetyl-CoA occurs, it is channelized out from the mitochondria for its effective participation and for its utilization in other metabolic pathways. So, the other metabolic processes like de novo fatty acid synthesis and biosynthesis of cholesterol. So, when this de novo fatty acid synthesis and synthesis of biocholesterol is occurred, then it results in the excess amounts of formation of fatty acids and cholesterol. So, when these fatty acids and cholesterol are formed, automatically these two will be accumulated in the human body. So, that will be result in the condition of obesity. And next, then high levels of sugars. Already we know that junk food contains high levels of sugars, right? So, the junk food which consists of high levels of sugar, when a person is consuming junk food, the high levels of sugar will put metabolism under stress. And then most of the junk foods contain refined fats, refined oils and refined ingredients, right? So when refined ingredients are taken or refined sugars are taken by a person, then the pancreas will secrete excess amounts of insulin. So insulin is a hormone which plays a crucial role in the deposition of glucose into the different types of cells like liver cells and muscle cells. So here when pancreas produces insulin or secretes the insulin, this insulin will prevents the dangerous spikes in the blood. So this is how the junk food slow down your metabolism. And then next, let's see when the sugar levels are increased in the blood, automatically it results in the insulin sensitivity. So insulin sensitivity, if you observe the picture represents both insulin sensitivity and insulin resistivity. So if you see the picture, insulin sensitivity, it is eventually replace the term weight loss or fat loss. And insulin resistance is defined as when your body cells stop responding to the hormone insulin, it will be known as insulin resistance. So if we see insulin sensitive, what happened means when a person consumes junk food which consists of sugars or glucose, this glucose will be enters into the blood. So when glucose enters the blood, automatically the pancreas will secrete a hormone called insulin. So this hormone is used for the deposition of glucose which is present in the blood of your human body, will deposit this glucose into the different types of cells like fatty cells, muscle cells and liver cells and other types of tissues. So like here in insulin sensitive, the cells are showing response towards the hormone. But coming to the insulin resistance, the cells are not showing any kind of response to the hormone called insulin. So here in insulin sensitive, only small amount of insulin is secreted from the pancreas. But coming to the insulin resistance, the large amount of insulin is secreted from the pancreatic gland. So if you see insulin resistance, even though the pancreas secretes insulin, the cells are not responding to the insulin. It means even though the insulin make the deposition of glucose into the different types of cells like liver cells, muscle cells and other types of cells, the cells are not responding. So when a person is with excessive body weight, the person may tend to have insulin resistance. So when there is a increasing the levels of insulin resistance, automatically the thermic effect of food will be decreases. If you see, this insulin resistance is also a major risk factor for the occurrence of type 2 diabetes. So let's see how type 2 diabetes will be occurs. So if you observe the picture here, how type 2 diabetes will be occurred will be shown in the picture. So first, insulin resistance, it means the cells are not responding to the hormone insulin, right? So when the cells are not responding to the insulin hormone, automatically it will stays in the blood. So when the insulin stays in the blood or increases its levels in the blood, the pancreas of islets of Langerhans of beta cells will stop the production of insulin. So when this insulin is not produced by the pancreas, automatically the glucose levels are also increased in the blood. So when these glucose levels are increased in the blood, automatically it will result in the causing of type 2 diabetes. So we can define this type 2 diabetes as the increasing the glucose levels in the blood. Yes, have you got my point how type 2 diabetes will occur? Yes, here I had already told you that insulin resistance, when insulin resistance is increases, automatically thermic effect of food will be decreases. I have mentioned thermic effect of food. What is thermic effect of food? Do you know? Let's see. Thermic effect of food. So here this thermic effect of food is also known as diet induced thermogenesis or postprandial thermogenesis. So this thermic effect of food refers to the increasing the metabolic rate of food or calories. So when you eat food, your body must expend some energy on food because it will digest and absorb and to store the nutrients which are present in food which is taken by a person. So therefore, as a result of the thermic effect of food, the body will digest and absorb and store the nutrients. So this can actually increase the metabolic rate, right? but here junk food shows effect on it. Why? Let me explain you. So, let us see the definition for thermic effect of food. Thermic effect of food, it is defined as the energy required to complete the processes of digestion, absorption and metabolism, and this energy required to extract the energy from your food which is taken by a person. For the occurrence of this thermic effect of food, 10% of your calories are required for this function. And then next, this thermic effect of food is also depends upon the type and the amount of food you have eaten. So, I told you that this junk food affects the thermic effect of food. How? Generally, this junk food takes less time to digest. So, here thermic effect of food will increases the metabolic rate, right? So, here already the junk food is which contains the junk food contains sugars. So, these sugars are directly enter into the blood. So, that there is no process of digestion. So, automatically the thermic effect will also decreases. So, if you observe the next picture which represents the thermic effect percentage. So, fats and carbohydrates will about 5 to 15% of thermic effect will be shown by fats and carbohydrates. And then proteins. These proteins will show 20 to 35% of the thermic effect. So, why these proteins are showing 20 to 35% of the thermic effect? It means the thermic effect of food will act on the type and the amount of food you have eaten, right? So, here the proteins are complex structures. So, here to digest, to absorb, to store the nutrients of the proteins, so the thermic effect will be shown about 20 to 35%. Coming to the fats and carbohydrates, they will be simple structures. So, that it will show just about 5 to 15% of the thermic effect only. So, this is how by consuming junk food, the thermic effect of food is also be decreased. And next, so it is very interesting to know about that most of the children and teenagers also addicted to the consumption of junk food. Yeah, you just think why they are addicted to the consumption of junk food. What is there in it? Is it tasty? Is it colorful? Yes. When the children and teenagers are addicted to the junk food contains different types of trans fats and sugars. So, when the teenagers and children are consuming junk food, the sugars and trans fats which are present in the food, they will be trigger the brain function. So, when these sugars and trans fats enter the brain and trigger the brain function, a brain hormone or a neurotransmitter is called dopamine will be released, will be secreted from the brain in an area called reward system. So, we can interpret these dopamine signals as a pleasure. So, when the children and the teenagers are addicted to such type of secretions of dopamine, automatically they become addicted to the consumption of junk food. So, if they frequently consume this type of junk food, automatically they become nutrient deficiency. As you all know that junk food does not contain any kind of essential nutrients. It is with a limited nutrition value. So, if they are particularly go for junk food frequently, automatically they become nutrient deficient. So, like this, the dopamine will trigger the functions of the brain and it will programming into a brain to perform this behavior and again. So, this is how children and teenagers are continuously addicted to the consumption of junk food. And next, so not only these sugar levels of junk food affects insulin resistant, addiction, nutrient deficiency. So, this junk food also shows effect on your brain. Interestingly, this junk food shows effect on your brain and your heart. Not only in heart, this junk food also shows effect on your nervous system and renal system. Let's see how this junk food shows effect on heart, brain, renal system and so let's see how harmful effects of junk food. So, first, intellectual and mental disturbances. First one is lack of concentration, headache, increased irritability, early fatigue. And coming to the harmful effects of junk food on heart. So, there is a chance to occur cardiovascular diseases like that hypertension, myocardial infarction, atherosclerosis, peripheral vascular diseases, ischemic heart diseases, and dyslipidemia. So if we see how junk food affects on our brain, first one is lack of concentration. So when a person is having sumptuous eating of junk food, as it contains high refined oils and fats. So when a person consumes high oils and fats, automatically they become drowsy. So they fail to concentrate on everything. And over a sustainable periods of eating junk food will also drop your blood circulation, as the fats are accumulated in the body. So lack of vital oxygen, proteins, nutrients, this will result in the trigger of brain cells temporarily. So this is how lack of concentration will be occurs. And then coming to the early fatigue, it means nothing but lack of energy. So this junk food contains limited nutritional value. So this is the short-term adverse effect resulting from the consumption of junk food. So when a person consumes junk food, it will give instant energy, but not throughout the permanent. So so it will give just temporary energy, automatically they become early fatigue. So this is how this junk food shows effect on the brain also. Then coming to the effects on heart, nothing but cardiovascular diseases. So here hypertension. Hypertension is nothing but increased blood pressure. So here when fats or the cholesterol, which is a constituent of junk food, when they are accumulated in the arteries diameter will be decreased. So when the diameter of the arteries is decreases, automatically there is no supply of blood through the arteries to the rest of the body parts. So here, due to the plaques which are formed by the accumulation of fats and cholesterol, automatically the arteries diameter will be decreases, right? So then there is a pressure on the arteries. So this is how blood pressure will be also increased due to the consumption of junk food. And then myocardial infarction. So myocardial infarction is also known as heart attack. And we can say the death of the heart muscle is known as the myocardial infarction. So when glucose levels are increased in the blood, so if the oxygen which is considered as a vital element for the body, if it is not supplied to the heart, automatically the heart muscles will be undergoes death. So this is how heart attacks will be occurred by the consumption of junk food. And next, atherosclerosis. So atherosclerosis is nothing but the decreasing the diameter of the arteries. So when the cholesterol or the fats accumulated in the walls of the arteries diameter will be increases. That is known as the atherosclerosis. Next, peripheral vascular diseases, ischemic heart disease and dyslipidemia. This dyslipidemia is also known as increased cholesterol, nothing but lipids. So when this lipid concentration is increases in the blood, automatically it results in the condition of dyslipidemia. So not only it affects on the brain and heart, it also shows effect on the digestive system and renal system. Let's see how junk food shows effect on the digestive and renal system. Junk food shows effect on digestive system. We know that junk food contains high amount of fats and acids. So this fatty acid system will upset the gastrointestinal tract. So when this gastrointestinal tract will be upset, automatically it results in the gastroesophageal reflux. So this gastroesophageal reflux is identify the character of the returning of the gastric contents into the esophagus is known as the gastroesophageal reflux. And then irritable bowel syndrome. Irritable bowel syndrome is a chronic gastrointestinal disease which is occurred to the large intestine. So when this large intestine is affected, automatically the large intestine shows different types of problems like diarrhea, gastric problems and some abdominal pains. And here the increasing the levels of acids in the stomach walls, it automatically involves in the indigestion problems. So this is how junk food also shows effect on the digestive system. And this junk food also shows effect on the kidneys. Let's see how junk food shows effect on the kidneys. So if you observe the picture, the salts which junk food contains sodium, right? So this is a salt. So when this junk food contains sodium, it will known for the causative factor for the renin-angiotensin system. When this renin-angiotensin system is affected, automatically it shows vasoconstrictive effects on the arterioles. So when this vasoconstrictive shows effect on the arterioles, automatically it results in the high blood pressure. So like this, there are different types of diseases which are caused by the consumption of junk food. So what measures to be taken is, we should develop healthy plate. Healthy plate means the food which we are consuming, which we are going to take, that should be contain 25% of the protein rich foods. Protein rich foods like fish, meat and etc. And then the food contains 25% of the whole grains, that is nothing but carbohydrates and fibers. And the remaining 50% about fruits and vegetables. So when we had developed the eating healthy plate, automatically our health will be good and then we'll lead a healthy life. And not only taking healthy food, we should have regular exercise, and we should reduce our stress and drink plenty of water and eat healthy. So when we follow these rules, we can automatically become healthy and it leads to a healthy life. And next, so when you are going to take a food, you just compare the food. So when you are going to take a food, you just observe from your head and foot, that will show you the different kinds, that will show you the food which type you are going to consume. So at last, I want to conclude that by consumption of junk food, there are different metabolic consequences. So my conclusion is, don't purchase junk food, and developing a healthy eating conduct and educating yourself about junk food, and you should have positive affirmation and a keeping journal and sleep right. So get fit, stay fit and healthy life. Thank you everybody.